Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Picks on Net, NHL Picks and Predictions. I'm your host, Terry Edelman, at T Picks on Twitter. And people are going to be wondering, where have you been? You've been gone for a week. And for people that didn't see the post on the YouTube channel or my post on Twitter, I got really sick. I got a cold slash flu, not exactly sure what it was, but it took me out of commission for a whole week. So that is why there hasn't been a show for a while now. But I'm back, and we're back a little bit early here with the NHL lines being released for Friday and player props being released as well. Means that I've got a nice head start onto Friday slate. So I wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I am wearing my wild Christmas jersey, the red and green one that I really don't bring out very often at all. But brought her out because it's Christmas time. So wearing the Christmas jersey, and yeah, feeling better. Not 100% yet, but getting there. And as I was researching the slate for Friday, I loved it. I loved the entire slate. And 24 plays later, here we are. I've got a ton of plays that I'm giving out on today's show. So we will get right into that. No thank you segment of the day because the last show was a while ago. I was planning on showing the last show. I did cash Jackson Lacombe anytime goal plus 1200. So that was a beautiful goal, but it was a long time ago. So won't show that. And the last week, I've really been on fire the last week. I think I'm up over 10 units the last week. And um, as we go on to tomorrow and the next day, it'll go up a bit. But the last four days has been really, really good for me. So we are heating up. We're heating up. Notifications are working and glad to hear you're feeling better. Thanks, Grant. I really appreciate that. Isaac says, what? Yeah, Christmas show. Christmas show. No thank you to Mr. Grinch or Scrooge. There you go. There you go. But we are going to get into Friday's slate. And I will, before obviously we get to Friday slate, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. Appreciate all the support, guys. We're going to jump into game one, which is between the Boston Bruins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Yes, I've made even more changes here to the backgrounds. And a lot of teams have more than three players that are heating up right now. So I've made the whole screen player props. And as you'll see when we get to a game later on, I really needed the whole screen. But Boston Bruins and Columbus Blue Jackets here in this game. No confirmed goaltenders as of yet because it's still 2 days away before these games start. Boston right now around minus 155 to minus 166. Columbus plus 130 to plus 141. Sixes here for the most part in this game. And first, right off the bat, looking at the side perspective, Columbus won 5-1 in the only meeting between these teams in Boston in November. And now Boston looking for some revenge here. But this Columbus team at home, they're 14, 15, and 6 in the season, but 10, 4, and 3 at home. So this Blue Jackets team has actually played very well in Columbus. The Bruins, 19, 13, and 4, 8, 7, and 2 on the road. So Columbus has the advantage here at home when it comes to a side perspective. Um, can't take the Columbus Blue Jackets here, or I have not as of yet, just because it is a revenge spot for Boston, and the Bruins were heating up heading into the break. But I wouldn't talk anyone off looking at Columbus. Maybe Columbus team total will be something I get to. Obviously, 24 plays for Friday. I don't know how many more I'm going to be adding, but you never know as we get closer on to game time. Looking at for Boston right now, Brad Marchand, 10-game point streak. He is hot right now. Goals in back-to-back games and assists in 3 of 4. Elias Lindholm, who's on his line, a point in 4 of his last 5 games, and he scored a goal in 3 of his last 4. McAvoy's on fire, assists in 5 consecutive games, 6 of his last 7. Morgan Geekie also playing well in that top line for the Bruins. For the Blue Jackets, you've got Kirill Marchenko, who's rocking and rolling, points in 9 out of his last 10 games, at least 4 shots in goal in 6 of his last 7, and a power play point in 3 of his last 4. Marchenko point is a great parlay piece in this game. First play for me is Elias Lindholm over half a point here. As you can see, he's done it in 4 of his last 5 games. Elias Lindholm point is minus 105 at Bet365. With how well he's doing right now, plays with Brad Marchand. I like Lindholm point at a very nice price at minus 105. And then for Columbus, I'm taking Dmitry Voronkov. I was on him in the last game to get a point. I believe he scored a goal and got an assist. His point prop, minus 120 for Voronkov to get a point. Plays with Kirill Marchenko. Obviously, both players doing well here. So a play for Boston and a play on Columbus for me here in this one. Bad time for a break for the Bruins. Jackets first period would be my play, I think. Okay. I thought Voronkov was on IR. No. I'm not sure who is on IR for Columbus right now, but that top line, Sean Monahan, Kirill Marchenko, and Dmitry Voronkov. He's been great. Cashed on him on the game before Christmas, and we'll go back to him here in the first game back from the Christmas holidays. Moving, or is Chinnikov? Yes, it is Igor Chinnikov. Those Russians, I know they've got so many Russians, Grant, but yes, it's Chinnikov. I was trying to look to see who was missing, but yeah, it's Chinnikov that's on IR. So Voronkov playing very well right now for the Blue Jackets. Game number 2, and as you're going to see, we've got a different layout here when it comes to New Jersey. But I really liked being able to do this layout. Obviously, they've got 5 players all producing right now. And because they're all really just points or goal, it's very easy to type it here. So I'll go over New Jersey here in a second. But for the Carolina Hurricanes right now, we'll go over the odds here in this game. Carolina in this game, plus 100 to plus 111. The Devils, minus 120 to minus 125. Sixes here for the most part in this game. In this one here, Carolina 8-1 on the road. The Devils 11-6-3 at home. The home team is 1-4-2. When they went to Carolina, 4-2 win for the Canes. When they went to the New Jersey, 4-2 win for the Devils. The Devils playing really well right now heading into this game. Back-to-back shutouts, 3-0 against Pittsburgh and then 5-0 against the Rangers. The Hurricanes on the other side, 3-1 loss to Washington, 3-1 win against the Rangers. Everyone's beating the Rangers lately. And then a 5-2 loss to Nashville before the Christmas break. So Carolina will be looking to turn things around here, facing this hot Devils team. And right now, Sebastian Aho, he's the only consistent guy for the Hurricanes right now. And I actually had to take Marty Necas right off the sheet here. And of course, Marty Necas is at least the first 3 quarters of the season. He's kind of cooled off recently. I believe it's 4 consecutive games, no points for Necas. So Necas is cold right now. Sebastian Aho was not. 0.9 of 10, a goal in 4 of his last 5 games. I did pull the trigger on Sebastian Aho anytime goal, plus 210 at FanDuel. Great price for that, plus 210 with how Aho has been playing heading into the break. And as we look over here at the Devils, Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes both play together on the same line, points in 5 of 6 and 6 of 7. And then Timo Meier and Nico Hischier play on the same line. Timo Meyer, a goal in 4 or 5. Hischier, a point in 4 or 5. And then Luke Hughes has an assist in 4 of his last 5 games for Devils. Player props here for me for the Devils. I do have a same game parlay. Well, 2 same game parlays, which I'll get to at the end of the show. I'll be giving out my same game parlays. But to go along with Sebastian Aho anytime goal, I'm also taking Timo Meyer anytime goal, which is plus 240. As you can see, he scored in 4 of his last 5 games for the Devils. Him and Nico Hischier playing really well in that top line. So I will take Meyer at a nice plus 240 price to score a goal here, which he's done in 4 of his last 5 heading into the break. Salute, Terry. Hey, Kev, how's it going? I don't know why it posted as the words instead of the symbol, but Timothy's waving. Hi, Timothy. I can't do Hischier shots and goal anymore, but he's a good anytime point, but don't know the price. Parlay piece. Parlay piece. We will talk about that at the end of the show. I do have Hischier in a parlay, which I'll get to. Why aren't you on Xmas break? Well, I am kind of, but decided to do the show. I could have did the show tomorrow, but I've already locked in all these plays. So why not put it up? A lot of people want to get a head start. So I'm sure people will be watching today, and then people will watch tomorrow, and then people will watch Friday. So I'm here. So decided to do the show on Christmas. I like the under here. Devils have been playing insanely good D. Carolina's been under 5 of their last 6. Devils have been under 9 straight. I can't talk you off that. Obviously, I'm hoping there's goals for my props here. But yeah, the Devils back-to-back shutouts against Pittsburgh and the Rangers. So yeah, and then before that, 4-2 loss to Columbus, and the back-to-back 4-1 wins against St. Louis and Chicago. So yeah, the Devils aren't giving up much. Hopefully, in my case, they give up 1 goal to Aho, and then I'll be a happy guy. I'm ignoring everything so you don't affect my plays. LOL, even though I heavily suck. Well, I'm only on player props, ISX. My 2 sides on the slate are both premium plays on Cap Protect, so I won't be against you because I'm only on player props. And Grant agrees with Perlo. He's on the under 6.5. Best of luck, guys. Best of luck. 4-2. The last 2 games have been 4-2, so if it finishes 4-2, that'll probably be good for all of us. Chicago Blackhawks and Buffalo Sabres here in this game. Sorry, I was taking a drink of water. I'm still not feeling 100%, but Chicago Blackhawks, Buffalo Sabres. This game here is my only pass in the slate. I'm going to pass in this game. But as you can see, there are still players on streaks in this game. Chicago, plus 142 to plus 155. The Buffalo Sabres are minus 172 to minus 185. Home favorite. 6s are the total here. I'm not taking Chicago in this game. Obviously, I've already said this game is a pass for me. But this Buffalo Sabres team, yes, they beat the Islanders 7-1 in their last game, which is great. But losing 12 in a row before that, I'm not ready to say that the Sabres are back after a 1 win. The Blackhawks were playing pretty well, back-to-back losses in Calgary and in Minnesota. Now they'll face Buffalo. As I said, a pass game for me. I'm not taking the Blackhawks, but the Sabres at minus 175, minus 180. I cannot recommend that at all. Anything to do with the Sabres either. Tara Vinen, as you can see, he's got an assist and at least 2 points in 4 of his last 5 games. Donato's got a point in 4 or 5. Ilya Mikheyev has a goal in 4 or 5. All 3 of those guys were on great streaks. They all ended against Minnesota. But the Wild defense and goaltending is a lot different than the Sabres defense and goaltending. So maybe they get back on the score sheet here. And then JJ Peterka, a point and an assist. So a point in 5 straight games, an assist in 4 of his last 5. So he's been one of the consistent Sabres players recently. Dylan Cousins also playing well, a point in 3 of his last 4 games for the Buffalo Sabres. So some plays here in this game, but nothing for me. I think this is a good game to pass on. Glad you're feeling better, Terry. Thanks, Timothy. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I was surprised to be sick so long. And yeah, I'm still feeling it a bit. Also took the under 6.5, but I see it now at 5.5. Oh, wow. Okay. I just can't pick a side. Yeah. Gulick, anytime goal, he will have a strong second half. All right. All right. And glad I couldn't hear anything. There you go. There you go. But yes, I passed on one game, and that's it. That's the only game I'm passing on the rest of the night. However, only one place so far in this game. I am going to be looking at. This is one of the few games where I'm going to be looking at some more plays, potentially Friday. And why am I going to be looking at more plays? Well, I want to take Leafs props, but is Austin Matthews going to be back? Because if Austin Matthews is back, that's going to completely change the lines, the top 2 lines. It's going to move things around and it's going to affect things. So I want to know if Matthews is playing, if he's not playing, that will kind of determine where I go with Toronto player props here. I do think Toronto's the right side as well in this game. Looking at the odds, the Leafs minus 149 to minus 160. Detroit plus 130 to plus 146 is across the board here. I would be looking at the Leafs in regulation, which I'm seeing at plus money. Most likely, if I get to a side here, it will be Toronto in regulation. I think they have a good game here coming in after the break. For the Red Wings, it was Lucas Raymond all season long. But back-to-back games, I believe, against Buffalo. I believe. No, it was against. Let me get it here. Montreal. Back-to-back games against Montreal, where Lucas Raymond couldn't get a point at all. And then nothing against St. Louis as well. So he's gone cold heading into the Christmas break. But somebody that hasn't been cold is Joe Veleno for the Detroit Red Wings. And yes, smaller play, quarter unit play here for me. But I took Veleno, Joe Veleno, anytime goal at plus 900. Goals in 3 of his last 4 games heading into the Christmas break, plus 900. Just a ton of value there with Veleno with what he's done recently. So I took him anytime goal. So far, that's my only play here in this game. But I am going to be looking at the Leafs in regulation, most likely, and then most likely some player props or same game parlay of some kind. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually, I should have already locked in some power play point props. Matthews, if he's back, I'll be looking at Nylander as well. The Red Wings have a poor penalty kill, one of the worst penalty kills in the league. Bear with me a second here while I get that up because I want to mention that here on the show. Detroit has the second worst penalty kill, 68.8%. Only team worse than them is the Islanders at 64.4%. Sadly, the Wild are 30 at 69.4%. Which we'll talk about the Wild in a bit here. But the Red Wings, second worst penalty kill in the league. They will be facing this Toronto power play, who is they are 18th. So not as strong as particularly as you would think. But as you can see, Nylander and then Matthews as well producing on the power play. So most likely get some additional plays here, which we'll look at on Friday. But right now, Joe Veleno, anytime goal, plus 900. My only play here. Only play. Private client says, I'm feeling like Tage Thomas this evening. Tage Thompson? Thompson? A ghost private client? Yeah, I don't know. Sup, dudes? Go Sabres. Hey, Olaf. How's it going? Wings money line if Matthews is back. No. No. Over 5.5 Leafs and reg. Yeah, I'm looking at Leafs and reg too, Perlo. LOL, Icex, you might be onto something. Hmm. Leafs are known for the most penalties, no? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But um, the Red Wings power play, I don't think is doing all that well recently, because as you can see, Larkin, Raymond, Kane, DeBrincat, they're all not really producing. That's another reason why I like the Leafs and Reg, because they've got players producing right now, while the Red Wings are don't. So Joe Veleno, anytime goal, and then most likely some additional plays, which will be available on Cap Protect if I do add any here. On to our next one. We've got the Minnesota Wild and the Dallas Stars here in this one. The Wild 21, 10, and 4 in the season, 12, 3, and 3 on the road. The Wild have been excellent on the road all season long. The Dallas Stars 2013 and 0 on the season, zero overtime losses or shootout losses for the Stars. 13 5 and 0 at home. The Stars great at home, and the Stars great against this Wild team. The Wild have really struggled against both Dallas and Winnipeg. Um, the last few seasons, it's been a real struggle. Dallas has won 7 consecutive games against the Wild, going back to their most recent playoff series. The last 4 regular season games 8-3, 4-0, 7-2, and then 2-1 this season for the Stars. So the Stars have really had the Wild's number this season. The Wild were red hot. Then they lost 4 consecutive games. Really bad, well, not a really bad start. The Blackhawks scored first, and then I posted an angry tweet comparing the Wild to the Buffalo Sabres. The Wild must have read that and decided that they can't allow that. So they came storming back and got the win, which was great. Um, I cashed the same game parlay Wild money line with Kaprizov point and Rossi point in that game. Not taking the Wild to win this one because they've struggled against Dallas, but I do have a same game parlay, and yes, it's Kaprizov point and Rossi point. But I'll go over that and my other same game parlays at the end of the show. I do have same game parlays for Dallas as well, which we'll talk about at the end of the show. I'll go through all my same game parlays together. Single plays here for this game. If you're looking at single plays, Rope Hint's goal, he's done in 3 of 4. And then Jamie Benn point, I believe, is around minus 120. If you wanted to play it singly, you could do that. But no single plays for me here in this game. I do have some parlays, though, which I'll go over at the end of the show. I've seen those dope sleeps on the PK, blah, blah. Okay. I need to know who's between the pipes in this one. All right. Stars stink at home. Not true. Stars on the Wild. Yes, true. Versus the Wild on the road. Holy F. Yeah, the Wild have been good on the road this season. I think the Wild get them this time. I hope so, Grant. I would love to see it. Wild beats the Stars finally after 10 years. It's not been 10 years, Ice X. The Wild won 5-1 against Dallas in 22-23 in the playoff series. Of course, that was game 3. And if you guys haven't watched the show before, the Wild are always really good in game 3s of playoff series for whatever reason. But we'll talk about that more once we get to the playoffs. I do believe the Wild will be in the playoffs this year. So we'll discuss that more at a later time. But yes, it's been less than 2 years since the Wild last beat the Stars. Stars are not in great form right now, kind of like the draw. The Wild is still pretty beat up right now, but they're usually game to keep games close. Yes, the Wild do have injuries. Joel Erikssonek may be back for this game. So the Wild are starting to get healthier. Obviously, Philip Gustafson came back. So really, Jake Middleton is the NFL. Jake Middleton and Joel Erikssonek are the 2 biggest pieces missing currently. Ha 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 ha. Yes. Ha ha. 11 years? No. No Ice X. No. Less than two. Less than two. But we will move on along to our next one, which is the Nashville Predators and the St. Louis Blues. I've got way too many plays in this game. Nashville coming here in this game, minus 125 to minus 130. Road favorites, the Blues plus 104 to plus 113. Home dogs, 5.5s, right across the board in this one. And this Nashville Predators team, if you guys have been watching the show all season long, I've shit on this Predators team a lot. But with you, if you look at their preseason expectations and how they were supposed to be, and then you look at how they played this season, they've kind of deserved to be shit on, and they were shit on quite a bit. However, heading into the break, and this Predators team, I think, is one of the few teams in the NHL that probably didn't really want the Christmas break to happen, because the Predators 3-0-1 in their last 4 games heading into the Christmas break. Back-to-back wins against LA and Carolina, too. So wins against some good teams. Now, the Christmas break is over. This Predators team 3-10-4 on the road. So they've really struggled on the road. They got to start racking up these road wins. But they're facing the St. Louis Blues team that the Predators have had success against. They've won the last 4 meetings between the teams 6-1, 8-3, 5-2, and 6-3. So we've seen some very high scoring games between these teams, and the Predators have scored a ton of goals when these teams have faced each other. And I'm hoping that goal scoring continues here, because I am on some props in this game. And yes, I'm taking all 3 of the top line guys. Really, you could same game parlay it if you want as well. But I'm not going to, because I've got all 3 plays singly. First, give me Philip Forsberg over half an assist. Mostly known as a goal scorer in recent years, but Forsberg has an assist in 6 of his last 7 games, 4 consecutive games with multiple assists. So Philip Forsberg assist, I got that at plus 145, which is just great value with what he's been doing recently. Then give me Jonathan Marchessault anytime goal, which he's done in 4 consecutive games heading into the Christmas break. I got Marchessault goal at plus 225, which is great for how he's been playing. I believe 2 goals in the last game. And then Steven Stamkos, a point in 6 of his last 7 games. He's minus 120 to get a point. He's on that top line. This is the top line: Forsberg, Marchessault, and Stamkos. So you're giving me Steven Stamkos at minus 120 just to get a point, which he's done in 6 of his last 7 games. I'll take it. I'll take him. I'm not on Ryan O'Reilly, but against his former team, 3 consecutive games with a point. I wouldn't talk anyone off looking at Ryan O'Reilly for some revenge here, but I like that top line for the Predators in Forsberg, Marchessault, and Stamkos. Forsberg assist, Marchessault goal, and Stamkos point for me. If you wanted to parlay all 3 together to get a point, not a bad look. Obviously, that's been cashing recently as well. I did take Forsberg and Marchessault both to get a point in their last game, and then decided to go with the single plays here. I may end up adding to Forsberg, Marchessault, and Stamkos, just because how hot they've been, but also how this Predators team has scored at will against this Blues team the last couple seasons. So we'll see if that can continue here. This one. Ew. Okay. I like this game. Grant likes Blues money line, but Perlo is on the Preds. Hit them at a nice, or you love the Preds. You hit them at a nice nice price to miss the playoffs, which should still happen. We'll see if they, because this Predators team showed last year that if they get hot, they can go on a run. Now, does the Christmas break hurt that? We'll have to see. Monty gave the Predators their first win. I will grab that Forsberg. Yeah, Forsberg's just been great. Jake will not be Neighbors, lol. Yeah, he's been cold. Jake Neighbors has been cold for the Blues. For the Blues, who I didn't really talk about there in that breakdown, Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas, both 0.79, 9 of 11. They're on different lines, though. Kyrou got moved to the second line. So if you want to parlay here, I'd parlay Thomas point and Buchnevich point together, but not really focusing too much on the Blues here, focusing on Nashville props here in this game. Sorry, water drink. On to our next game. And at the beginning of the show, I said how I changed the layout of the show. This is a big reason why. Instead of having the picks on net words at the top, which I do like having, obviously it's the show brand. I just decided I'd like to try to fit everything on one screen. And sometimes it's going to be some tough when there are some teams that are on streaks with a bunch of players on streaks. But luckily, I was able to fit all four for each team on here. So obviously, there's a lot on the screen right now, which I will let you guys look at. I'm not going to break down everything here just because it's a lot. But you can obviously see on the screen who's on streaks. Colorado minus 135 to minus 143 in this game. Utah plus 115 to plus 122. Sixes and 6.5s. Do we still see sixes when this game is played on Friday? I'm not sure. Quite a few 6.5s here. Bet365 and BetMGM both have sixes here. I may get to the over in this game before Friday because I do think we'll start to see a majority of 6.5s. And a big reason why is what you see on the screen here. Both teams have players that are contributing right now. McKinnon and Valerie Nichushkin both on the top line together. As you can see, both producing really well right now. I will take Valerie Nichushkin anytime goal here in this one. He is plus 200 to score a goal here. Obviously, he's done it in 4 consecutive games. He's on that top line with McKinnon, who, as we can see, Mr. Assist throughout the season. 3 consecutive games, but it goes back further. He's been an assist guy for years now. So I'll take Nichushkin, who has been shooting the puck. As you can see, 3 shots on goal and 3 of 4. I'll take him to score at plus 200 on the top line. And I'll also take Cale Makar over 1.5 points. He's done that in 3 consecutive games, but there's a ton of value with Makar. Plus 250 to get multiple points in this game. That's just a really high price with what he's been doing recently. As you can see, power play point for McKinnon, Makar, and Rantanen. All power play points in 3 consecutive games. So they've really been doing a lot of offense in the power play, the Colorado Avalanche. For Utah, as you can see, Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz on that top line, both producing well. Keller assists in 5 consecutive games. Schmaltz an assist in 5 of 6. Then the second line with Cooley and Gunther, they've been producing as well on the power play. As you can see, Utah's power play has been clicking as well for the Utah Hockey Club here. No single plays for me when it comes to Utah, but I do have same game parlays, which we'll get to very shortly because we've got one more game left on the slate, and then I'll get to my same game parlays for the slate. Single plays here, Nichushkin anytime goal and Cale Makar over 1.5 points. I'll be looking at this over 6 here as well. I'll be looking at it. Perlo isn't sure how this is a 6, but give me the overall day. Yes, I think when we get to Friday, I don't think it'll be a 6 anymore. Once people start betting the over, I'll just grab the over. Yeah, don't care who's between the pipes. Yeah, I agree. It's doesn't really matter. I think for Utah, for both of these teams, really, it's doesn't really matter too much. Makar's a great setup guy. Yeah, Yeah, he is. But we'll get to the final game of the night and of the Friday night, and then I'll get to my same game parlays, and then we'll finish off the show. Vegas Golden Knights and the San Jose Sharks. Vegas, big favorites here in this game, minus 234 to minus 250. The Sharks plus 200 home dogs, sixes and six and a halfs, pretty split when it comes to the total in this one. And this Vegas Golden Knights team, rocking and rolling here, 23, 8 and 3 in the season. They've just been excellent. The Sharks, 11, 20 and 6. They're 6, 9 and 1 at home. So they do play better at home. Vegas did win 7-3 in Vegas earlier on this season. But if you look at what the Sharks have been doing recently, 4-3 loss against Vancouver, 3-2 overtime loss against Edmonton. They did have the 4-2 loss to Colorado. But then before that, 4-3 loss against Winnipeg, 4-3 loss against Utah. So this Sharks team, for their last 5 games, they've only lost by 1 goal. They are keeping some of these games close, especially at home. So while I do like Vegas to win this game, I would only take Vegas money line. I was looking at the puck line for the Golden Knights, but with how the Sharks have been able to keep games close, I could see the Sharks hanging around here in this game, which keeps me off the Knights puck line. I do like Vegas money line though as a parlay piece. Obviously, it's minus 250, so you'd have to find something else to parlay it with. Mark Stone, Jack Eichel. If you take both of those guys to get a point, it's minus 150. So there's just no value with either of those guys. There is value there with Shea Theodore to get an assist. He's done that in 3 of his last 4. My play is Macklin Celebrini assist here in this game. He's got an assist in 6 of his last 7 games. Not really scoring as much now as he did earlier in the season, but plus 130, an assist in 6 of his last 7. I'll take him here in this game. And yes, I'm quickly going to do a little thank you to Macklin Celebrini. If you guys didn't see my post on Twitter, and some people kind of were saying, why were you talking shit about Connor Bedard? Connor Bedard went to Vancouver, minus 2, no points, I think 1 shot and goal. I played Connor Bedard props in that game. Only the time this year I bet Connor Bedard props, and I regretted it. I posted on Twitter when the Sharks went to Vancouver in the last game, and I said that Celebrini would show up, and he did. Assist, he cashed for me. Over 1.5 points, he cashed for me. Unfortunately, the goal, he was close, didn't quite get there, but he showed up against the Canucks. So thank you, Macklin Celebrini, for showing up against your hometown team. I hope he'll show up here and get an assist in this game for plus 130. 5, I think I said it was, or plus 130. Yeah, plus 130. Let's go here to the chat. Also, this is a fairly quick revenge game. Utah beat Colorado not long before the break. I had Utah there. Minus 135 for the Avs is good value. There you go. There you go. Celebrate shots and goal. LOL. Yes. Yes. But now we're going to get to same game parlays. So starting off with the Devils game, Jack Hughes to get a point and Jesper Bratt to get a point. Plus 100. They're both on that second line together. You can rewind the show and see what they've done recently. They've been super hot. And then Nico Hischier and Timo Meier on that top line. Plus 170 for both guys to get a point. They've also been really hot recently. Yes, I have to take something with the Wild here. Have to have some kind of bet involving the Wild. Kaprizov point, Rossi point, plus 120. Great value there. If Kaprizov's getting a point, most likely Rossi will as well. Rossi was only on that top line for most of the season, but now he's got a spot on that top power play as well. So if Kaprizov's getting a point, most likely Rossi is as well. I'll take both for plus 120. People say that Terry doesn't bet against his team. Well, I don't bet against the Wild when it comes to winning and losing, but Money is money. The Stars team has owned the Wild. I've got 2 same game parlays here. Rope hints Jason Robertson on that top line. Both been really hot recently. Plus 160. Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston, both on the third line. They're both plus 160 as well. I'll take both sets of guys here. Hinson Robertson and Ben and Johnston. Finally, in that Colorado-Utah game, as I said, I've got the plays that I gave out on Colorado. When it comes to Utah, I'm going to same game parlay it. So Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, plus 130, both to get a point. Dylan Gunther, Logan Cooley, plus 180 for both guys to get points. Tons of value there in those same game parlays. If you guys like the show, make sure to hit the like button on the YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel as well. Growing all the time. If you want all my premium plays, I've got, as I said, 2 sides, full unit sides, and 3 half unit player props that I didn't give out in the show. They are available on my Capper Tech all access pass, starting at $10 for a 1-day pass. The cheaper, it goes cheaper per day, each 7-day, 14-day, 30-day, and 60-day. So thank you everyone for watching. As I said, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we will see you guys. The next show will be on Saturday, obviously, because these games are Friday's games. So we'll see you guys on Saturday for another episode of Picks on Net. NHL Picks and Predictions. Merry Christmas to everyone watching on Christmas Day. And if you're watching on Boxing Day or on Friday, thanks for watching also, guys, and we'll see you guys on the next show.